South Africa's plans to move to future strategic metals, yes, such as copper, which is in great abundance in Zambia and the Congo, nickel, cobalt, and rare earths. As a world leader in platinum group metals, South Africa is perfectly poised to take advantage of the growing demand for such metals. At the same time, we must continue to expand the production of some of the minerals that have been the mainstay of our mining industry for years and for which there is still such great demand. We are keen to harness the opportunities of the hydrogen economy. Last week, I attended the launch by Anglo American of the world's largest hydrogen-powered mine haul truck. And President Masisi was saying, as he looked at the photograph that was taken of me in this massive truck, that I looked like a young boy excited over a toy. Yes, President Masisi, I still get excited over things like that. Now, this truck, it was just amazing to see the innovation that the mining industry is capable of scaling up to. Now, this truck will be powered by an entire ecosystem of hydrogen production centered around the mine itself. And I got so excited and so taken away, President Masisi, I said, when I get fired from my job, I'm going to apply for a job to go and work on this type of truck. We aim to be not only an important hub for the production and export of green hydrogen, but also of green ammonia, green iron and steel, and sustainable aviation jet fuel. South Africa's hydrogen strategy is aimed at stimulating as well as guiding innovation along the value chain of hydrogen and fuel cells technologies. What I saw at the Mogalakwena mine of Anglo American just gave me a look into what the future looks like. This will not only sustain demand for PGMs, but also position South Africa to derive benefits from supplying high-value added products. Now, as a continent that has such a rich abundance of resources, Africa needs to beneficiate its mineral endowments for the benefit of the current and future generations. And as we were walking in, President Masisi whispers to me that, President Ramaphosa, we need possibly to develop a Southern African beneficiation pool so that we harness all our either technologies and resources and make sure that we are able to harvest the best benefits going into the future, because we are the real hub of mining possibly in the whole world as Southern Africa. Mining has an important role in South Africa's just energy transition. In our onward march towards a low-carbon future, it is critical that our efforts are both realistic, but they also have to be sustainable. We have resuscitated the successful Renewable Energy Independent Power Producers Procurement Program, which plans to sustainably upscale investment in wind and solar power, which we also have in great abundance. We are diversifying our energy mix under the Integrated Resource Plan. We have supporting legislation to mitigate and adapt to climate change. In line with our just transition efforts, we are in the process of mobilizing international finance as part of the effort to ensure that affected communities and existing industries are supported during the process of transition. It is clear that as our reliance on coal is reduced over time, pathways towards new economic activity needed to be created for workers and affected industries. As we confront the reality of energy insecurity and the development of new energy resources, it is critical that South Africa, like all developing economies, be given the necessary development space, because we are still in development, and that space is absolutely necessary for us to be able to transition in an orderly and in a sustainable manner. Countries on the African continent need to be able to explore as well to extract oil and gas as they find it in an environmentally responsible and sustainable manner. These resources are important for energy security, for social and economic development, and for reducing energy poverty on the continent. And we do not see this trajectory as being mutually exclusive to our focus on moving towards ensuring that we reduce our carbon footprint. It is important that as we undertake a just energy transition, we adhere to the principle contained in the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change of common but differentiated responsibilities of respective capabilities. The growth and development of mining in South Africa will not be possible unless the working and living conditions of the people who work in the mining industry, as well as the mining communities, are improved. Gone are the days when corporates ignore what is happening to their workers in terms of their livelihood, and gone are the days when we ignore what is happening in the communities in mining areas. We now have a responsibility, all of us, as the public sector, as in government, private sector, to ensure that we have benefits that are going to flow to all those who are involved in the ecosystem of mining. It is important that mining companies engage with labor in a spirit of partnership and cooperation, completely shorn of hostilities that lead to problems that we will be creating for the future. It is vital that mine safety and the health of workers becomes the industry's most foremost concern. On this, there can be no compromise. I wish to commend the mining sector for the financial and logistical support it has given to the rollout of South Africa's COVID-19 vaccination program. As of the start of May, more than 75% of mine workers in our country were fully vaccinated, and 66% were partially vaccinated. Drawing on this extensive experience with managing other communicable diseases such as TB, HIV, and other mining sector-related diseases, the industry has been able to manage the COVID-19 pandemic carefully and systematically. And I'd like to thank mining companies for the cooperation that they have demonstrated to us as government. We thank you dearly for the way in which you worked with us. Now, the partnership between government and the Minerals Council of South Africa stands as a fine example of how the private sector can support a nation's development agenda. In undertaking its vaccination program, the mining industry has also demonstrated its responsibility to the communities in which it operates and where it is located. It is important that this commitment is sustained in all areas of development, including through the effective implementation of the social and labor plans, responsible environmental practices, as well as local procurement. The future of mining on the African continent, I believe, holds great promise. It holds great promise for investment, for industrial development, for growth, and for profit for the corporates. We have a shared responsibility as governments, as mining companies, as labor, and as communities to realize that promise and to make it happen. As the government of South Africa, we are firmly committed to fulfill our responsibilities and to implement all the processes that need to be implemented to ensure that there is growth and that there is sustainability as well as prosperity of the mining industry. We are firmly committed to ensuring that mining occupies its rightful place, as it has always done in the past, as an industry of the future. An industry that has given birth and strengthened our industrialization process, our manufacturing processes, this having been the very first industry that has propelled South Africa to be the industrial and manufacturing powerhouse that it is. It is important for us as the government of today to ensure that we do support the mining industry and make sure that it continues to grow. For it is not only a great employer of the people of our country, but it is also a contributor to the growth of South Africa. And many would say South Africa in the end is what it is in terms of economic progress it has achieved because of mining. And may it continue to be so. And I'm delighted to see so many of you here participating in this Indaba, but also continuing to invest in the mining industry, not only in South Africa, but also in the various other countries on our continent, but more especially in Southern Africa. So thank you for being here, and thank you for continuing to invest. Thank you very much.
Now, Your Excellencies, Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our presidential vote